Your TypeScript code is lying to you. That function you wrote, the type signature says it returns a user, but it can also throw, crash, or blow up at runtime, and the compiler has absolutely no idea. TypeScript tracks every type in your code except one, the errors. Today we fix that. We'll turn invisible exceptions into visible, typed values the compiler can actually reason about. Here's the core issue. When a function throws, that error vanishes from the type system. Look at this signature. It promises a user, nothing else. But inside, it throws an error. TypeScript won't warn the caller. They'll forget the try or catch, and the bug ships to production. The type is technically correct and completely misleading. The fix is a mindset shift borrowed from languages like Rust and Go. Treat errors as values, not exceptions. Instead of throwing, we return a result that can be one of two shapes: success or failure. The caller has to look inside the box before using the value. Suddenly, the error is right there in the type signature, impossible to ignore. Let's build it. A result is a discriminated union. Two object shapes sharing a common literal field called OK. When OK is true, we have a value. When it's false, we have an error. The generic parameters t and e let us reuse this for any success and error type. This tiny type is the foundation for everything that follows. Notice the OK helper returns result of t, never. That's deliberate. The never type means this value can never carry an error. It's the empty set, a type with 0 possible values. When TypeScript merges an OK result with an ERR result, never disappears, leaving exactly the union you want. Never is the quiet hero of type-safe error handling, and we'll keep coming back to it. Now let's refactor our broken getUser. Instead of throwing, it returns a result. The not found case returns error. The happy path returns OK. The return type now honestly says this can succeed with a user or fail with a not found error. No hidden surprises, no silent throws. The contract is right there in the signature. Here's the payoff at the call site. We check result.ok first. Inside the true branch, TypeScript narrows the type and lets us access value. In the false branch, it gives us error. Try to access result.value without checking, and the compiler stops you cold. The error handling is no longer optional. It's enforced by types. Why use plain objects with a kind field instead of subclassing error? Because the native error class plays badly with the type system. Instance of checks break across module boundaries and after transpilation. A discriminated union of typed error objects gives you exhaustive, compile time safe matching. Each error carries exactly the data it needs. No more, no less. This is where never truly shines. We write a function to handle every error kind with a switch. In the default branch, we assign the value to a variable of type never. If we've handled every case, the remaining type is never, and it compiles. But the moment someone adds a new error variant and forgets to handle it, that assignment fails. A compile error pointing exactly at the gap. The compiler becomes your reviewer. Watch what happens when we add a timeout error to the union but forget to handle it. The compiler immediately flags the never assignment. Type timeout is not assignable to never. That red squiggle is TypeScript telling you exactly which case you missed. At build time before a single user ever hits it. This is exhaustiveness checking, and it's a superpower. Real code chains operations. Checking result.ok after every single call gets verbose fast. So we add a map helper. It transforms the success value while passing errors straight through untouched. If the result is OK, apply the function. If it's ERR, short circuit and return the error as is. This is the same idea behind functional pipelines. Keep the happy path clean. But what if the transform itself can fail and returns its own result? Using map would give you a nested result inside a result. Awkward. The answer is flatMap, sometimes called and then. It takes a function that returns a result and flattens the outcome. Now you can chain fallible operations one after another, and the first error wins. The error types merge into a clean union automatically. Results aren't a religion. Some errors are genuinely unrecoverable. A misconfigured environment variable, a failed assertion, a programmer mistake. For those, throwing is correct because there's no sensible value to return. The rule of thumb. Use result for expected recoverable failures the caller should handle. Use throw for bugs and impossible states. Mixing both deliberately is good engineering. Most libraries still throw, including fetch and json.parse. To bring them into the result world, write a small try-catch wrapper. It runs the risky code inside a try, returns OK on success, and converts any thrown error into an ER. From this boundary onward, your whole codebase stays type safe. You isolate the messy throwing world to one tiny adapter. Async work needs the same treatment. An async function that returns a promise of a result keeps errors typed even across awaits. Here we wrap a fetch call. Network failures become a typed network error. Bad status codes become their own variant. And a clean response yields OK. The caller awaits once and gets a fully typed outcome. No rogue rejections. Let's see the contrast directly. On the left, the throw-based version. A caller wrapped in try-catch, where the catch parameter is typed as unknown and you're guessing what went wrong. On the right, the result version. A single OK check, full type narrowing, and the error shape known precisely. Same logic, but only one of them is honest about failure. Sometimes, you just want the value or a fallback. Two more tiny helpers handle that. Unwrap or returns the success value or a default if it failed. Match lets you provide handlers for both branches and returns a single value. These keep your call sites expressive without scattering if checks everywhere. Small, composable, predictable. You don't have to build all this yourself. The neverthrow library, widely used across Indian and global teams in 2026, gives you a battle-tested result type with map and then and async support out of the box. Install it with npm import result, OK and ERR, and you get a fluent, chainable API. It's the same pattern we built, just polished and maintained. Here's neverthrow in action. Functions return OK or ER just like ours. But results are objects with methods. So you chain map and then fluently with dots, no helper, imports per call. The match method handles both branches at the end. It reads top to bottom like a pipeline, and every error type is tracked across the whole chain. For async, neverthrow gives you result async and a from promise helper. It wraps a promise, catches rejections, and maps them into a typed error. All chainable without awaiting until the very end. This is the cleanest way to handle fetch in a real app. One import, fully typed failures, zero stray rejections leaking through your stack. So here's the toolkit you now own. Model recoverable errors as values with a result type. Use typed error objects with a kind discriminant instead of fragile error subclasses. And let the never type enforce exhaustive handling so the compiler catches every missed case. Build the small helpers yourself to understand them, then reach for neverthrow in production. Your errors are no longer invisible. Let's lock in the 3 big wins. 1. Model recoverable errors as result values. So failure lives in the type signature, not in hidden throws. 2. Use typed error objects with a kind field for safe, exhaustive matching. 3. Lean on the never type to make the compiler catch every unhandled case before it ships. Next up in the TypeScript track, we go deeper into discriminated unions and advanced narrowing. The exact tools that make these patterns sing. If this made error handling click for you, hit subscribe and drop your trickiest error handling scenario in the comments. We'll tackle the best ones in a future video.